Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. So Jeroboam is a man that the Lord used to bring discipline against the house of David because of the idolatry of Solomon. If you remember, Solomon had a lot of women, and he loved a lot of women from a lot of the different nations, and they drew their heart, or his heart, away from the Lord and caused him or influenced him to worship these different idols. And because of it, God said that he would bring judgment against the house of David, not during the time of Solomon, but during the time of his son, and that part of the kingdom would be taken away from him. And Jeroboam was the means by which God did that. Jeroboam is called from Egypt to go up into the northern tribes. And to make a long story short, the 10 northern tribes end up following Jeroboam, and the people of Judah and Benjamin end up following Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. But then you have this incident where this man of God, this prophet, comes to speak against Rehoboam, because Rehoboam had created these 2 golden calves and told him that these are the gods that brought you out of Egypt. You need to worship them. He was afraid that if the people went down into Judah to worship the Lord, that their hearts would be drawn to Jeroboam, and therefore he would lose the kingdom. So he had basically introduced idol worship as a national ordained thing. And of course this is wrong. So this man of God is coming up against him and speaking out against these altars where he's offering up these sacrifices, and even mentions by name this man by the name of Josiah, who was going to offer up the priests on these altars. And anyways, judgment against against these altars, these idols that Rehoboam had made. And even Rehoboam himself is touched. His hand withers. He pleads to the man of God to heal him. Even pleads that the man of God would come and eat and drink with him. And the man of God said, "No, the Lord had told me not to eat or drink, or not even to pass the same way that I came, but to leave a different way." And so he leaves Rehoboam a different way than he came. And then this other prophet comes and meets him from Bethel and tells him, "No, yeah, the Lord told you that, but the Lord told me to tell you to come and eat with me." And so he goes and eats with this other prophet. And long story short, a word comes to him from that prophet saying, "Why'd you rebel?" He goes and leaves, saddles his donkey to leave, and a lion ends up killing him and leaves him there on the road. The old prophet who had misled him takes him and buries him and says, "Hey, bury me next to this guy," showing some respect. But this story might seem a little bit peculiar, and it might seem maybe a little bit harsh from the Lord, that the Lord would kill him simply for, going with this other prophet to eat and drink, especially since that other prophet had lied to him. But this prophet was an object lesson, or appears to be an object lesson, against Rehoboam and the house of Rehoboam. You see, the story of the prophet mirrors the story of Rehoboam. Rehoboam was also a man called by God to speak judgment, or to enact judgment against the house of Solomon, the house of David, because of Solomon. And he did that. He did go, and he ended up taking over a good part of the kingdom according to the word of the Lord. But what did he do after that? He rebelled. And this prophet the same. This prophet was called by God to speak words of warning and judgment against Rehoboam and these idols that he had created. But then, after being used by the Lord, he did what? He rebelled as well. And so there's some similarities between these 2 stories. But the lesson that we get from both of these stories is this: that even though we might be accomplishing the will of God in our lives, even though we might be doing great things for the Lord, maybe we are engaged in good works, maybe tending to the poor, or to the orphan, or to the sick, or to the prisons, or whatever the case may be. We may be working for the Lord. We might be accomplishing the work of the Lord, but that never excuses us from being obedient to the Lord. In other words, just because we might be accomplishing certain things for the Lord doesn't mean that gives us license then to go about our own way and to live according to our own desires. We must be obedient to the Lord to the utmost. And obedience is what the Lord is looking for. Yes, he wants us to be engaged in good works. Yes, he wants us to be working and laboring for the kingdom. Yes, he does want us to be doing these random acts of kindness towards others and fulfilling the calling he has for our lives. But all the while remaining obedient to him, both outwardly and inwardly. Otherwise, we have these two stories speaking against us. So let's keep this in mind today. Let's, yes, serve the Lord, but at the same time remain obedient to the Lord and stay faithful to what he has instructed us to do through his word, and obey him at all times. So with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. I hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.